In the heart of the American dream, amidst the glimmering skyscrapers and bustling streets, there stands a figure shrouded in both reverence and controversy. Picture this: a nation captivated by the allure of wealth, seduced by the promise of prosperity. In the midst of this frenzy stands a figure shrouded in myth and legend, his name whispered in reverence and awe: Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. But peel back the layers of adulation, and a different story emerges. A story not of triumph, but of treachery. A story of how one man's insatiable greed brought a nation to its knees. Warren Buffett's ascent to the pinnacles of Wall Street began innocently enough. A young man with a keen eye for numbers, he quickly made a name for himself on Wall Street. But as his empire grew, so too did the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Buffett's relentless pursuit of profit knew no bounds, and he spared no expense in his quest for wealth and power. With each hostile takeover and leveraged buyout, Buffett left a trail of devastation in his wake. Once thriving industries were gutted, their workers left jobless and destitute. Communities that had flourished for generations now lay in ruins, casualties of Buffett's insatiable appetite for profit. But perhaps the most insidious aspect of Buffett's reign was his ability to cloak his actions in the guise of philanthropy. While he amassed untold riches, he positioned himself as a champion of the common man, all the while pulling the strings behind the scenes. As the dust settled and the true cost of Buffett's ambition became clear, America was left reeling. The once proud nation had been reduced to a shadow of its former self, its spirit crushed under the weight of corporate greed. And so, as Warren Buffett's legend grew, so too did the scars he left on the American landscape. His legacy serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the human cost of unfettered capitalism. But what many fail to realize is the extent of Buffett's manipulation of the financial system. Through his vast network of connections and strategic investments, he wielded immense influence over government policy and regulatory bodies, ensuring that his actions went unchecked and unchallenged. Behind closed doors, Buffett made backroom deals that further enriched himself and his inner circle, all at the expense of the average American. He manipulated markets, rigged elections, and silenced dissent, all in the name of preserving his own wealth and power. And while his public image remained untarnished, the truth of Buffett's actions eventually began to emerge. Whistleblowers came forward, revealing the extent of his corruption and deceit. But by then, the damage had been done and America stood on the brink of collapse. Today, as we reflect on the legacy of Warren Buffett, we must ask ourselves, at what cost do we pursue wealth and power? And how many lives are we willing to sacrifice on the altar of corporate greed? The answers may shock us, but they are essential if we are to prevent history from repeating itself. Now, let's delve deeper into the story of how Warren Buffett, once hailed as the Oracle of Omaha, became the architect of America's downfall. It all began with Buffett's insatiable hunger for profit and power. From his early days as a savvy investor to his rise as the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett's ambition knew no bounds. He saw opportunities where others saw obstacles, and he seized them with ruthless efficiency. But as Buffett's empire expanded, so too did the collateral damage. His hostile takeovers and leveraged buyouts left countless industries decimated, their workers left scrambling to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. Small businesses were crushed under the weight of Buffett's corporate juggernaut, their owners forced into bankruptcy while Buffett counted his profits from afar. Yet, despite the devastation he wrought, Buffett remained untouchable. His carefully cultivated image as a folksy billionaire philanthropist shielded him from scrutiny, even as his actions left a trail of destruction in their wake. Behind closed doors, Buffett pulled the strings of power, manipulating governments and regulatory bodies to serve his own interests. And as America's economic landscape shifted beneath its feet, Buffett continued to amass wealth at an unprecedented rate. He bought up struggling companies for a fraction of their worth, only to strip them bare and sell off their assets for a tidy profit. His empire grew larger and more powerful with each passing day, while the American dream slipped further out of reach for millions. But Buffett's reign of terror could not last forever. As whispers of corruption and deceit grew louder, cracks began to appear in his carefully crafted facade. Whistleblowers stepped forward to expose the truth behind Buffett's empire, revealing a web of lies and deception that stretched from Wall Street to Washington. And as the full extent of Buffett's crimes came to light, America was left reeling. The once proud nation had been brought to its knees by one man's insatiable greed, its economy teetering on the brink of collapse. But even in the face of disaster, Buffett remained defiant, refusing to take responsibility for the chaos he had wrought. Today, as we reflect on the legacy of Warren Buffett, we must ask ourselves, at what cost do we pursue wealth and power? And how many lives are we willing to sacrifice on the altar of corporate greed? The answers may shock us, but they are essential if we are to prevent history from repeating itself. The story of Warren Buffett serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the human cost of corporate greed. As we strive to rebuild in the aftermath of his reign, let us never forget the lessons he taught us about the perils of placing profit above people. As we navigate the complexities of the financial world, let us remember the lessons learned from Buffett's story. Whether you're an investor or simply curious about the forces shaping our economy, stay tuned for more insightful discussions. Until next time, may your investments be wise and your aspirations grand. Happy investing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating content.